Hey guys! My speech today is on how to plant a garden. In Young Women's, I was able to complete and be awarded my Young Woman medallion. And this took a lot of hard work and patience. One of the projects I was able to do, my faith requirement was planting a garden. And this was really my first doing it by myself, planting a garden on my own. Now, while gardening may seem like a pretty simple task, a lot more work, dedication, and knowledge than you would think, and I definitely learned through this project. I now have had a garden for about 4 years, and it's one of my favorite hobbies. I've learned about the perfect plants to grow and the best soil to use. I've learned how to eat and the best ones to cook with and the best ones to plant, and it's definitely a blast, and I hope that you guys will learn to love it as much as I do. Not only allow you to spend time outdoors with fresh air, but they give you a sense of accomplishment when you're all done and you're cooking a meal with the vegetables you just grew in your backyard. Maintaining a successful garden, there are 5 main steps. Is deciding the size and produce of your garden. The best way to do this is to make a list of items that you usually eat regularly, items you usually buy at the grocery store, just vegetables that you use regularly in your daily cooking. These foods, you will turn trips to the grocery store into trips to your backyard. Not only is this less expensive, but it is also way more fun. You'll want to be sure to plant the items that you know that your family will eat. If they aren't the biggest fan of tomatoes, then just don't plant tomatoes. Once you have had the best produce to grow in your garden, you'll need to decide on how big you want your garden to be. While doing this, you need to remember that each item in your garden needs a row or a division of space. So you'll want to keep your garden very organized. Which vegetable you want to grow, you can decide the size that you want to do for your garden. I have 2 gardens about the size of twin beds, and it works perfect for me. The smaller the garden, the easier it is to take care of. To planting a garden is actually planting it. Before you start planting and have your garden size, you'll need to till the ground and add soil to the base of your garden. That way it's easier to plant and the seeds will have plenty of nutrients as they get moisture. Garden is my favorite part, other than harvesting, of course. While doing this, you need to make sure to follow the directions. If you have carrots, the directions will have you plant them in a long row about an inch deep. If you have cabbage or squash, they get planted in pods. They need space to grow. If you plant squash, they're the same as cabbage, they just need lots of space to grow. In my gardens, I do my whole bed, one of them. So I have 2. The first whole bed has squash and cabbage in it. And then the second bed has my beans, my carrots, or my peas. It's perfect that way. The third step is maintaining your garden. Maintaining your garden tends to be the most work. It is the trickiest part. And I have the hardest time finding time to go outside and weed and water my garden every day. But it is very, very important that you do this to have a successful garden. It will come up in the form of grass. Pick them and just pick everything that's not in the rows and pods that you've planted so that all the nutrients can go into your dedicated plants. When I was young, my mom would always try to plant a garden. She would get so excited in the spring and do so awesome at the beginning of her garden. She would get everything planted perfectly, but then she would neglect her garden. She would run out of time, she wouldn't be able to weed it. We had sprinklers that automatically watered it, so that wasn't something she was worried about, but she never, ever, ever went out and pulled weeds. End of the season, our garden looked like a jungle. There was huge, tall grass weeds about 3 feet high, and you couldn't even tell that there were squash hidden in there. You definitely have to maintain your garden better than my busy mom did to have a successful garden. Protecting your garden is the fourth step. This includes spraying it so the bugs will stay out of it and covering it when the weather is cold. I lived in Idaho, so the weather was cold very often. So we always had a couple days, March through June, right when we get our gardens out, that we would have a surprise snowstorm. It's important to cover your garden at these times to keep it from freezing and then in turn dying. I covered my garden with a bed sheet, but you can use anything from a plastic garbage sacks to even a blanket just to keep the snow off of it and to keep up a little bit of heat. The fifth step is harvesting your garden. The best part. Harvesting your garden, you don't do it all at once. Some of your vegetables will grow faster and be ready to harvest before your other ones. Depends on when they're ready. So it's important to be patient while harvesting your garden. You can't make them grow faster. You can't make them be ready. This is the reward for all the work that you've put into your garden. That's when you get to start picking from your garden to create a salad, or cutting lettuce from your garden for hamburgers, and tomato from your garden for hamburgers. It's definitely the best part. You can see gardening may take a little bit more work than you thought it would, but the benefits make it so worth it. How to decide the size produce of your garden, plant, maintain, and protect, and also harvest your garden. I challenge you all to begin the preparations for a garden and go ahead and plant this spring. Thank you.